Okay, let's take a look at some disk management. We're going to start in Windows. So a standard user does not really mess around with disk management much. I think it's a powerful tool that anybody should know because it really helps you understand how the system's organized. But most people, you finish installing your brand new computer, as we talked about before, and then it's set to go. And the only thing you do is plug in a flash drive or an external hard drive, and they're already set up. So you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to do any of that anymore. Well, we're going to take a look at what is built into Windows. What can we do within Windows to deal with disk management? So first off, let me open up another window of this. Let me go to, we'll just go to the C drive real quick. And I will go this PC so we can see what's on this PC. So we see that there are two drives. One is C and one is D. One is titled Windows. One is titled 1 terabyte. I gave it that title. You can change the titles of these. You can change them to whatever you want because the access of this is not meant to be run off of the name. So in other words, it's not using Windows to actually find something. It's not using 1 terabyte to find something. It's actually using D to find it or C to find it or the actual real location of the hard drive. And that's what we're going to look at. So I'm going to right click down here on Start, and I'm going to go to Disk Management. So this is built into Windows. There's Disk Management. I think I might have two open now. Yes, I do. So let's close that one. I wanted to show you where it would open from. And here it is. This is what it looks like. This information up here is the same as this. So this is a graphical representation of what we're seeing here. If you're not too sure what you're looking at, you can click these and you'll notice at the bottom, right, it jumps around. It shows you which one we're talking about. Now, it's kind of hard to see graphically how much space is free and so on. So that's up here and that's nice. And it actually tells you how much free space and what the capacity is and whether or not it's up and working, healthy. It gives you the same thing. So in this little list of status, that's the same information that's here. Same stuff. And what does it mean? For instance, this is disk 0, and that is where the C drive is at. And this is disk 1, and that's where the D drive is at. So you need to understand that lower down in the operating system, it knows that D drive is actually this disk 1, and that's how it's viewing it. That's how it's dealing with it. Because I could take this 1 terabyte D drive, erase it, and split it into 2. And then what you would see in the operating system is here's C, here's D, here's E. But really, I only have 2 physical disks. So one of the great things disk management does is if you're on a system you know nothing about, you don't want to open it up and find out what's going on. You just load this up and you go, okay, I've got 2 physical drives here. I've got a main one, and then I've got the other. So there is exactly what it shows in File Explorer. Now, what are these two doing? Why do we have this and this? Well, as it says, this is a recovery partition that was created in the beginning. I didn't even recreate it, right? This is a pre-installed Windows 11 computer. And so when I finished the process of installing, this was already done. This information is great because this is where you would go if you wanted to reset this PC. So no longer do you have to find yourself a media, put it in, and erase everything that you have, like maybe you got a virus or something, right? You don't have to do that. You can actually just come in here and say, I need to reset this, and it'll give you some options. Keep my files, delete everything, right? It'll do that. And of course, what it's doing is it's using these hidden partitions that you don't see, or these hidden volumes that you don't see. You don't see them there at all. They don't show up for you other than seeing it here in the disk management. So they're important. I know some people that don't understand what's going on with these, and they'll go, oh, well, I'm going to get myself some media, and I'm going to delete all these. That way I have more space. Hey, great, you do. But when you go to reset, it will try to reset, and it'll go, hey, there's nothing here. So I would keep this. I would keep it where it is so that you can actually use it if you ever need it. It's fantastic. Speaking historically, we never had stuff like that. It was always a pain to restore somebody's PC. Now it's easy. You just go to reset. You can actually access it as the machine boots. So other things you can do, these are basic disks, and it says they're online, meaning that they are working. and I can right click here and I can convert it to dynamic. Now you really don't want to do that unless you can see why dynamic would be better for you. And so if you're going to convert to dynamic, take a look and see if you need it. That's why Microsoft doesn't start it that way. If you don't need it, then don't be using it, right? There's a little more processing that's happening. And there is no undo. So you are not going to go, oops, a daisy, I deleted something I didn't want to. Well, that's too bad, you deleted it then. So there's not an undo process on that. Another thing I wanted to show you is I never use it, but yeah, you can attach it to a virtual hard drive, right? This is a VirtualBox hard drive. I don't ever do that. I don't have a reason to do that, but you can create them and you can attach them right here in disk management. And you might have a use for that. Maybe you just can't seem to get information over to it. There's ways to do that. And so you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to attach that thing and then dump it in there and then I'll be done. Problem with doing that, since I opened that can of worms, if it's Linux, it's going to be an ext4, and Windows doesn't even try to know what that is. You can get software that'll add in the compatibility to Windows, but from the default, if it sees a Linux partition, it goes, this is invalid and it's an error and you should delete it now. That's the way it behaves, even though it could know that it's a Linux volume. They just don't do it. One of those Microsoft idiosyncrasies and things. So anyway, that's just about dealing with disk management within Windows and what's there. Now I have not disk cleanup. I cannot remember which one I installed. So let's poke around. Let's go back and we will go to all programs because I've got it in here someplace. It's probably right on my desktop. I have no all programs. What is it doing to me? It only behaves like this when you actually need something, right? There it is. I have the free version of AOMEI, AOMEI, Partition Assistant. This is a free version. It's much better than what Microsoft includes. I will tell you, if you're going to be doing this kind of thing all the time, then don't get the free version, right? This is the standard edition. Get the next one up. It's like 40 or 50 bucks. Then you can do anything in Windows with all sorts of partitions. In other words, if I put in a Linux partition right now, this will see it. This will go, oh, that's Linux, and it'll know what to do with it, where Microsoft does not. And you can do all sorts of things, change the drive letter, do a backup on that, clone the partition. A lot of this does not work unless you get the version up, right? Actually, this is going. So there's tons of stuff. There are so many hard drive tools out there that you can use that are absolutely awesome, that are far beyond what Microsoft gives you. Microsoft just gives you the basic set. I would recommend these guys. I've used them quite a bit. They work great. As a matter of fact, I made sure on this system, when I added some space, I wanted to increase some space because this was divided into two. I had to move. You'll notice that in disk management, it showed those two separate. These show them together. So on the disk, they're next to each other, because what I wanted to do was combine two volumes that were separated by another volume that was currently working. And you can do that. You can convert it to dynamic and say this is part of the same thing. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to keep it a basic disk. So I moved this one over and then I expanded that one out. And this can do that. It's not a problem. It'll expand and contract and do what you need, like split partition and resize. Definitely fun to play with. We did that in 118. And so that's really it for this video.